Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurinmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swabin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatariणे Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद. Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees back to our discussion on the confidential reasons for the descent of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just some time back, we discussed based on the Mangalacharan Shloka of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Radha-Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Shaktirasmad Ekatmanam api bhuvi pura deha bhedo gatau tau चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटमधुना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भावद्युतिसुबलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम्. So Radha and Krishna are one, but they manifested themselves in two forms for the purpose of performing pastimes, experiencing rasa, bliss in their pastimes. And again they became one in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna accepted the emotion and complexion of Srimati Radharani and manifested himself as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And Krishna is called Rashika Shekhara, is the best of all relishers of rasas. And it is Krishna who manifests himself in multiple forms and makes himself available as the object of worship, object of love and affection for so many multitudes of devotees. Now, that Krishna, when he is reciprocating with the mood of his devotees, he also becomes very attracted to their mood, so much so that he aspires for their mood. Krishna becomes attracted to their mood and aspires for their mood, because while rendering service to Krishna, these devotees are experiencing more pleasure in their service than even Krishna is experiencing while receiving that service. They are doing all hard work. Definitely, Krishna, who is the recipient of service, should be happy and comfortable and excited. But Krishna is definitely deriving some happiness, but the happiness of his devotees, especially Srimati Radharani, is 10 million times more than the happiness of Krishna himself. So Krishna is aspiring for that happiness. Although he is Rasika Shekhara, but still he is hankering to experience the mood of Srimati Radharani, hankering to experience the mood of being a servant of Krishna, although he is Krishna himself. So, embracing the mood of Srimati Radharani, Krishna manifested as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kaviraj Goswami says, Radhikara Bhavamurti Prabhura Antara Sei Bhave Sukha Dukha Uthe Nirantara. Radhikara Bhavamurti Prabhura Antara. So, the inside, the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an image of Srimati Radharani's bhava, emotions. And feelings of pleasure and pain arise there constantly. What is this pleasure and pain in Radharani? The pleasure of meeting Krishna and the pain of getting separated from Krishna. So Radharani is constantly experiencing that pleasure and pain in uh, connecting with Krishna and getting separated from Krishna. So that's how Krishna adopted the mode of Radharani, and he is also experiencing that pain and pleasure in meeting and separation. Mhm. So Krishna in Vrindavan, he manifests multiple ages. Kaumara age as a child, and Pauganda age as a boy, Kaishwara age as an adolescent. So Krishna's Kaumara pastimes or childhood pastimes, in this Krishna's Kaumara childhood pastimes, Vatsalya rasa is more prominent. The devotees in Vatsalya Bhava like Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj, they experience Krishna's association more than devotees of all other rasas. And in Pauganda age, in boyhood, all the Gopa boys who are in Sakhyarasa with Krishna, they get more of Krishna's association. And when Krishna becomes a Kaishwara Murti or an adolescent young boy, so those pastimes are accessible more to the gopis, younger gopis of Vrindavan. And amongst all those gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. And in fact, the speciality of Krishna's Kaishwara is that uh, Krishna's Madhurya pastimes are more prominent in Kaishwara age. As we discussed earlier, Madhurya rasa is the topmost. So whichever age is more suitable for those Madhurya pastimes is the best age of Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is eternally a Kaishwara Murti. And that eternal Kaishwara, Nitya Kaishwara Krishna has three unfulfilled desires. He has some desires which are not fulfilled. How can Krishna, who is Purnakama, who is Atmarama, how can he have any desires which are not fulfilled? That's the whole underlying foundation of the incarnation of Okay, I will continue. श्रीराधाया प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वानयैव स्वाद्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्यामदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात् तद्भावाड्यः समजनिशची गर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः. In this one shloka, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes three unfulfilled desires of Krishna. So, what are those unfulfilled desires? How can Krishna have any desires which are not fulfilled? So, that we will see one by one. So, Krishna's first desire, which is unfulfilled, is that Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho. Krishna wanted to understand the glory of Srimati Radharani's love. What is the extent, what is the greatness of Srimati Radharani's love for me? She loves me more than anything else. She loves me more than anyone else. Her love for me surpasses her love for herself. So, in this way, Krishna becomes very intrigued to understand the glory of Srimati Radharani's love. Mm. So that the first desire of Krishna is to understand the greatness of Radharani's love. Sri Radhayaha Pranaya Mahima. Pranaya is love, Mahima means that glory, that greatness. So Krishna wanted to understand the greatness of Radha's love. Mm. Now let's go a little deep into this point. What is the greatness of Radharani's love? What are the qualities of Radha's prema for Krishna? Kaviraj Goswami says, one, Radharani's prema drives Krishna mad. Even Krishna will go mad in experiencing Radharani's unparalleled, unequaled, unprecedented love for him. Second, the strength of Radharani's love is unknown even to Krishna. Even Krishna also becomes intrigued. Krishna also feels, what is the extent of his love, of her love? he also cannot figure out. And Radharani's love becomes a teacher of Krishna, and Krishna becomes a dancing student in front of this teacher. So Radharani's love becomes a teacher of Krishna. Then, fourth point, Radharani's love is so high that love gives 10 million times more pleasure to Radharani than even Krishna experiences. By receiving service from Radharani, Krishna definitely experiences great amount of love, great amount of happiness. But in rendering service to Krishna, Radharani experiences 10 million times more happiness. Therefore, Krishna becomes intrigued. What is the greatness of her love that is making her so joyful, more joyful than me? Then, fifth point, Radharani's love is full of contradictions. What are these contradictions? See, already Radharani's love is most exalted and it's infinite, but it continuously expands. If something is already infinite, already highest, how can, how is there any possibility of it expanding more? But Radharani's love expands. Already she has unlimited love for Krishna, but that love keeps on expanding. Then second, nothing is greater than Radharani's love, but that love is devoid of any pride. Generally, in this world, when we see people, when they're great, they're also little proud, little arrogant. They think great about themselves. But Radharani, although her love is the most exalted, she is the most humble. She even says that Krishna, this devotee, is greater than me. Please accept this devotee. While recommending a devotee to Krishna, Radharani is so humble that she considers herself inferior to that devotee. And she genuinely feels it. She recommends another devotee. Although she is the supreme devotee of Krishna, supreme servant of Krishna, she is supremely humble also. In fact, Dainya and Prema are not different. Dainya means humility, Prema is love. So Prema and Dainya, humility and love of God are non different according to the teachings of the Shastras. So, and nothing is purer than Radharani's love, yet sometimes Radharani's love is little perverse, little crooked, little duplicitous. Means she also tricks Krishna sometimes. She also becomes angry with Krishna. Which basically her love is manifest in little playful ways and crooked ways sometimes. Although her love is pure. And finally, sixth point, Radharani is the highest abode of uh, love for Krishna. Generally, we all know that Krishna is the Ashraya. Ashraya means shelter. There are 10 topics in Bhagavatam. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantareshanukatha nirodho muktirashraya. There are 10 topics in Bhagavatam, and the 10th topic is Ashraya. Ashraya means supreme shelter, and Krishna is the supreme shelter of everything and everyone. All of us know that Krishna is Ashraya. But the Vaishnava scriptures describe Radharani as Ashraya. How Krishna is Ashraya, right? But the answer is Krishna is Ashraya of everything and everyone in the entire creation. But Radharani is the Ashraya of Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. Krishna is the shelter of everyone, but Radharani is shelter of love of Krishna. Right? So Krishna Prema, love for Krishna, has its highest manifestation in Srimati Radharani's heart. Thus, her heart is the shelter of, highest abode of Krishna Prema. Well, the object of that Prema is Krishna himself. So, from this perspective, Krishna is the Vishaya, Radharani is the Ashraya. Krishna is the Vishaya, means that he is the object of love. And Radharani is Ashraya, she is the abode of love. She is the supreme abode, highest abode of Krishna Prema. So that is about Radharani's, that's the greatness of Radharani's love for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna, who is the Vishaya, who is the object of love, now wants to be the Ashraya, abode of love. Basically, he is the recipient of Radharani's love, but now he wants to act as Radharani and express love for Krishna. Although he is the supreme recipient of Radharani's prema, somehow he wants Radharani's prema for Krishna and he wants the position of Radharani so that he can express prema for Krishna in the mode of Radharani. That's inconceivable. Inconceivable. Right? So somebody is loving you so much and you're impressed with the way they are loving you and you are aspiring for their position and you want to love yourself like the way they love you. Oh, inconceivable. You naturally love yourself. In fact, in this material world, in this material universe, most of the conditioned souls, if at all they love someone, they love themselves. Prabhupada writes in the 10th canto of 10th canto Bhagavatam, uh, in the Brahma Vimohan Leela area. Even Acharyas also comment in the 10.14, 10th canto 14th chapter, that uh, everybody in this entire creation loves themselves more than anyone else. If at all they love someone else, that is only because those people are giving some attention to them, giving some enjoyment to them, giving some kind of sense gratification to them. So they love themselves the most, and the dearness that they have towards their own selves is manifested as dearness towards family members or society or nation. Why do I love my country? Because I am living in this country. I have taken birth in this country. Why do I love my state or my street or my home? Because I am there. I am connected into it, connected to that city or country or home or abode or whatever. So the primary dearness of any person is towards one's own self, and that is manifested as dearness towards other people. That's the general format in this world. But here, Krishna is is observing that Radharani loves me more than I love myself. And I want to take the position of Radharani and love myself like her. That is Krishna's point. Like, because Krishna is thinking that, like, yes, I am attractive. I'm attractive to everyone. In fact, Krishna is attracted to himself also. Sometimes Krishna looks at his own form and he becomes attracted to himself. He wonders, who is this person who is so beautiful? And as he's wondering, his beauty increases. He's already beautiful, his beauty increases even more. So thus Krishna is definitely attracted to himself. But if there is anyone who is attracted to Krishna more than Krishna himself is Radharani. And her attraction towards Krishna is supreme attractiveness. And Krishna was feeling that, yes, I love myself, but Radharani loves me more than I do. So to love myself more than what I am doing now, I need to take her position. At first, I need to understand the greatness of her love. So that first reason for uh, Krishna's descent as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is he wants to understand the extent of Radharani's love. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva. Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima. What is the Mahima of Radha Pranaya? I want to understand. So, clear? First reason. Krishna's first unfulfilled desire is he wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's love for him. Hmm? And he wanted to become Ashraya of Krishna Prema. Although he is the Vishaya of Krishna Prema, although he is the object of love of his devotees, he wants to become the subject, he wants to become the abode of love. He wants to become the shelter of that love. Let me love Krishna. Krishna is thinking, let me love Krishna. Right? Let me love Krishna like Krishna's supreme devotee Radharani. So that is our first desire. Now, second desire. So Krishna has second unfulfilled desire also. Mm, one second. Yeah, this one. Second unfulfilled desire. Swadhyo yenadbhutammadhurima kidrisho vamadiyah. So, while discussing the first reason also, I spoke a few things very much connected here. Madiyah adbhuta madhurima. Madiya means my own. Adbhuta means wonderful. Madhurima means sweetness. Swadhyo yenadbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyah. So Krishna was thinking, what is the extent of my own sweetness? Why Radharani is so attached to me? Radharani is relishing my sweetness so much, but I can never understand the extent of my own sweetness. Radharani understands. So I want to explore my own sweetness. What is there in me? A simple example. Sugar cannot understand how sweet it is. One who tastes the sugar will understand. Similarly, Krishna, who is like purely sweet, like sugar, like nectar, he cannot understand the extent of his own sweetness. But Radharani understands the extent of his sweetness. So, who can relish sweets in this world coming to the material platform? One who does not have diabetes, one who actually have some kind of taste and inclination to eat sweets. Some people like chilies more. Some people like salty items more, namkeen cheese. But they can't handle sweets so much. But there are some people who are lovers of sweets, right? So different people have different tastes. So one who loves sweets can enjoy sweets if you give him. One who does not have taste for sweets, one has a different taste. He wants namkeen cheese. He wants mm, spicy items. So such people cannot. They cannot understand, cannot relish sweet items. Now, amongst all the relishers of sweet items, one who has great digestive capacity, one who has taste, not only taste, along with taste, they should be able to process what they're eating, right? So now coming to bhakti context, who can relish Krishna's sweetness to the maximum capacity? Who has the digestive power? Who has that purity of heart? Srimati Radharani. Amongst all the relishers of Krishna's sweetness, the topmost relisher of Krishna's sweetness is Srimati Radharani. She says, Akshanvatam phalamidam naparam vidamaha. The purpose of having eyes is only to see Krishna. No other purpose for having eyes. That is the first statement that she made in the Venu Gita. Mhm. So within one eye blink, Srimati Radharani experiences millions and millions of yugas of separation from Krishna. Although many people don't even realize the duration of an eye blink, they can't see any discontinuity in their vision during the eye blink period. It's a fraction of a second. So they see continuity in their vision. But Radharani sees a great discontinuity in her vision of Krishna, even within one eye blink period, and she sometimes even criticizes Brahma for keeping these eyelids on the eyes. गोप्यः तपः किमचरन् यदमुष्य रूपम् लावण्यसारमसमोर्ध्वमनन्यसिद्धम् दृग्भिः पिबन्त्यनुसवाभिनवम् दुर्रापम् एकान्तधाम यशसः श्रिय ऐश्वर्यस्य. What great tapasya did the gopis of Vrindavan do to be able to relish Krishna's form, Krishna's sweetness like this? Krishna is very sweet, Krishna is very beautiful, but only the gopis of Vrindavan can completely and perfectly relish Krishna's sweetness. Bhakta Paya Bhujanga त्रैलोक्य रक्षामणि गोपी लोचन चातकाम्बुदमणि सौन्दर्य मुद्रामणि यः कान्तामणि रुक्मिणी घनकुचा द्वन्द्वैकभूषामणि श्रेयो देवशिखामणिर्दिशतु नो गोपालचूडामणि. In this beautiful shloka, you see the second line. Gopi lochana chatakam budamani saundarya mudravadi. Krishna is like ambudamani, like he's like a glistening cloud. Mani means a precious gem glistens, right? Similarly, Krishna also shines. His ambudamani, glistening cloud. Gopi lochana chataka budamani. Gopi's lochana, Gopi's eyes are like the chataka birds. As all of us know, Chataka birds always look towards the sky. They aspire to drink the water directly coming from the rain clouds. Therefore, whenever there are rain clouds in the sky, the Chataka birds become excited. So, in this shloka, the gopis' eyes are compared with Chataka birds, and Krishna's beautiful form is compared to clouds. Just as Chataka birds get excited seeing clouds, the eyes of the gopis also become very excited, very enthusiastic, very eager to relish the cloud-like form of Krishna. Gopi lochana chatakam budamani saundarya mudrabadi. So that is Krishna's Madhurya. And amongst all the gopis, the greatest relisher of Krishna's Madhurya, Krishna's sweetness is Radharani. फुल्लेन्दीवरकान्तिमिन्दुवदनं बर्हावतं सप्रियं श्रीवत्साङ्कमुदारकौस्तुभधरं पीताम्बरं सुन्दरम् गोपीनां नयनोत्पलार्चिततनुं गोपसङ्घावृतं गोविन्दं कलवेणुवादनपरं दिव्याङ्गभूषं भजे. In this shloka, go to the third line. We are discussing only one line in this long shlokas because of lack of time. In the third line, you see, the shloka says, Fullendi varakantimindavanam barhavatam supriyam Srivat sankamudara kaustubhadam pitambaram sundaram Gopinam nayanotpalarchitatanum gopasanghavritam. Krishna's form is nicely worshipped by Gopinam Nayana Utpala Archita. Gopinam Nayana means the eyes of the gopis. They are considered Utpala flowers. Gopinam Nayana Utpala Archita Tanum. Krishna's form is being worshipped by the flowers of gopis' glances. The glances of the gopis are compared to beautiful flowers, fragrant flowers, colorful flowers. And those glances are worshipping Krishna's beautiful form. Means, in short, the gopis are hooked to Krishna's form. Whenever Krishna is playing flute and entering the forests of Vrindavan, gopis run out of their homes hearing that flute and then look at Krishna. As Krishna is uh, passing from their vision. So they look at Krishna like this. Krishna is moving, Krishna is moving, Krishna is moving, Krishna is moving. Oh, and till the last speck of dust settles, as Krishna is entering Vrindavan, they keep looking Krishna, looking at Krishna from his face, again later his back. And evening again, when Krishna is playing flute and entering back into the Vraja, into the household area, again the gopis are like fixed, their eyes are completely fixed on Krishna's form. So they are the greatest relishers of Krishna's Madhurya, and Krishna cannot relish his own Madhurya as much as the gopis do. You see, therefore Krishna becomes very intrigued. I want to understand my own Madhurya. That is the second reason. Madiyah adbhuta madhurima. So swadyo yena adbhuta madhurima kidrisho va madiyah. I want to relish my own sweetness. I can't understand my own sweetness. By remaining as a sugar, I cannot understand my sweetness. I should become an eater, someone who eats that sugar. Then I can understand my sweetness. So Krishna took that position. Now there is a beautiful shloka, Kaviraj Goswami writes, Krishna madhuryera eka svabhavika bala, Krishna adi nara nari karaya chanchala. Krishna madhuryera eka svabhavika bala. Krishna madhurya means the sweetness of Krishna has a natural strength. Swabhavika means natural, intrinsic. Bala means strength. Krishna madhuryera eka swabhavika bala means Krishna's sweetness has a natural, intrinsic characteristic. Strength. What is that? Krishna adi nara nari karaya chanchala. It makes everyone chanchal, restless, restless with a desire to experience that sweetness. Who becomes restless? Nara, men, Nari, women also. And Krishna, the beginning with Krishna, even Krishna also becomes eager to relish his own sweetness. Krishna becomes eager to relish his own form. He sees his reflection in that shining floor in his palace. So Krishna becomes attracted to his own form. Krishna becomes attracted to his own name. Whenever somebody chants Krishna's name, Krishna runs towards the devotee. Oh, this devotee chanted my name. I become so indebted to this devotee. I become, Krishna feels very indebted to the devotee. He feels very obliged to the devotee. He fulfills whatever the devotee desires as soon as the devotee utters his names. नमो देवदामोदर अनंत विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःख जलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपा दृष्टि वृष्ट्याति दिनं बतानो गृहाणेश मामग्नमेध्यक्षिदृश्य. Satyavartamani in the Damodarashtakam is saying this. He had some desires. In the fourth and fifth shlokas of Damodarashtakam, if you remember, Satyavartamani expressed some desires. What are his desires? Desire is that I want to see the beautiful form of Bal Gopal in my heart always. That is his desire. So after expressing his desire in two shlokas, in the fourth and fifth shloka of Damodarashtakam, Satyavartamani thought, the Lord will fulfill my desire if I chant his names. Holy name is very dear to the Lord. When somebody chants the holy names of the Lord, then the Lord becomes very attracted to the personality and he will fulfill all his desires. Therefore, he chants the names Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu. Deva Damodara Ananta Vishnu Prabho. Like that, he chants multiple names of the Lord. So that's the explanation given by Sanatana Goswami. So, anyways, Krishna becomes attracted to his own names. Krishna becomes attracted to his own forms. Rupa, Nama, Guna. Krishna becomes attracted to his own qualities. Krishna becomes attracted to his own pastimes. You want proof? When Lava and Kusha, when they are glorifying Ram Katha in Ayodhya, Ram becomes so attracted. Although they are glorifying him only, Ram became attracted to it. And when Rohini Mata was narrating Krishna's childhood pastimes, Vrindavan pastimes to all the queens of Krishna, Krishna heard those pastimes. He became so ecstatic that his eyes became so big and his smile became so big. All his hands and legs were shrunk into his body, and thus Krishna manifested the form of Jagannath. So Jagannath's form is a testimony for Krishna's own attraction to his own pastimes. Mhm. When Krishna became attracted to Krishna Katha, Jagannath's form manifested, isn't it? So, anyways, even Krishna himself becomes attracted to his own sweet Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. Yatra gayanti mad bhakta tatra tishthamena. Why, when devotees are chanting Krishna's sweet names or glorifying Krishna's sweet pastimes, why Krishna comes and sits there? Because Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila are so sweet that even Krishna wants to relish them. Right? So that's why in this shloka, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Krishna Adi, Krishna Madhuryera Eka Swabhavika Bala. Krishna Adi Nara Nari Karaya Chanchala. So that is, these are aspects of Krishna's sweetness, Krishna's beauty. Krishna's beauty is wonderful, infinite, complete, perfect, and has no limit. And only Radharani can fully taste it, like a pure mirror. So when somebody goes in front of a mirror, they will be able to see their own reflection in the mirror if the mirror is clean. But if the mirror has a thin layer of dust, they will see a blurred image of themselves. But if the mirror has thick layer of dust, they can't see themselves at all. Right? So the mirror has to be clean. Then we can see our reflection. And Srimati Radharani is like that pure mirror, clean mirror that can completely depict Krishna's figure, Krishna's form. So only Radharani, whose love is pure like mirror, can taste that. Only pure mirror, clean mirror can reflect the image properly. Similarly, only someone who has pure heart like Srimati Radharani can relish Krishna's sweetness completely. Hmm. And Krishna's beauty, Krishna's madhurya, it has no room for expansion. Already full, already complete, already perfect, already infinite. But still, it keeps on expanding. Krishna's beauty expands, Krishna's sweetness expands, madhurya expands only. Adharam madhuram, vadhanam madhuram, nayanam madhuram, hasitam madhuram. Everything about Krishna is madhura only. And that madhura is already infinite, but it keeps on expanding. Mhm. And it is always fresh and new. Like, that shloka says, Gopya tapah kimacharan yadamushya rupam lavanya samordhvamananya siddham. This line says, Drigbihi pibanti anusavabhinavam durapam. Drigbihi pibanti. When you drink the nectar of Krishna's beauty with your eyes, anusava abhinavam means that beauty appears newer, fresher, always appears newer and newer, fresher and fresher. That is the nature of Krishna's beauty, Krishna's beautiful form, you see. So, and seeing his beauty in a mirror, Krishna deliberates on it. Oh, I'm unable to relish my own beauty as much as Radharani does. Let me become Radharani. Then I'll relish. Now, how long can you see yourself? Only as long as when you stand on the mirror, in front of the mirror. But others can see us more. See, others look at us in this life, others look at us more than we look at ourselves. Because eyes are here, with eyes only we see. So only when we go in front of a mirror, we can see ourselves, right? Similarly, Krishna also. Of course, Krishna has transcendental and divine eyes, but still, hmm, Krishna feels that I cannot relish my beauty. I cannot see my beauty. I cannot relish my own sweetness. Radharani is standing in front of me. She is the supreme relisher of my sweetness, but I cannot relish. So I want to become like her. So Krishna became very thirsty, like a Chataka bird, to experience his own madhurya. So uh, then Krishna, uh, seeing Krishna is considered the greatest fortune. Anyone who has an opportunity to see Krishna's form is considered the greatest fortunate person in this entire creation. Now, Krishna wanted to become that greatest fortunate person. Of course, he can see himself in a different way, but he wants to see himself the way Radharani sees himself. Mhm. So, the first reason, I'll summarize. The first reason is Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva. The first reason is Krishna wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's love. Therefore, he became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The first confidential reason for Krishna's descent as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's love. Clear? Second, second confidential reason for Krishna's descent as Chaitanya is Swadhyo yenadbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyah. What is the extent of my own sweetness? Krishna became very intrigued to explore the extent of his own sweetness. How sweet he is, he wanted to understand it. And how did he get this desire? Seeing Radharani. Because Radharani is experiencing his sweetness more than anyone else. So Krishna also wanted to experience his own sweetness. Therefore, he wanted to become Radharani. That is the second confidential reason. Third confidential reason, very very confidential, is Saukhyam chasyamadनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात्. Saukhyam chasyamadनुभवतः means what great happiness Radharani is experiencing while serving me, while seeing me, while talking to me, or while bringing any of her senses in contact with me. What is her happiness? So Krishna became greedy to experience the pleasure of Radharani. First reason is he wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's love. Second reason is he wanted to understand the extent of his own sweetness. Third reason is he wanted to experience the happiness that Radharani is experiencing while serving him, while seeing him, while being with him. So that is the third reason. Now let's elaborately describe the third reason. Very beautifully, Kaviraj Goswami explains the third reason. Of course, all reasons. So, Rasa Siddhanta, or the conclusive truth about rasas, is very deep. Second. So, understanding this rasas is possible only for very, very exalted devotees. Amongst the exalted associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai and Swarupa Damodar Goswami, these two are very dear to Lord Chaitanya. With Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke more about the principles of bhakti, gave them teachings of bhakti, and also told them to inaugurate temples and write books. With Prakashananda Saraswati and Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, Mahaprabhu spoke a lot of philosophy. With general public, Mahaprabhu spoke. Mahaprabhu made them chant holy names of the Lord. He did Harinam Sankirtan. But only with Ramananda Rai and Swarupadamodar Goswami, Mahaprabhu discussed Radha-Krishna Leelas. He relished Radha-Krishna Leelas in their company. So, Swarupadamodar Goswami, uh, uh, only he can understand Rasa Siddhanta. And of course, many others are there, but in Mahaprabhu's Leela, Sarvadamodar Goswami and Ramananda are the greatest relishers of Rasa Siddhanta. So Kaviraj Goswami says that they are great personalities. Now, he recollected the glory of Swarup Damodar Goswami while explaining the third unfulfilled desire of Krishna. What is the third unfulfilled desire? He wanted to taste Radharani's happiness. Now, in this context, Kaviraj Goswami says, the gopis have Rodha Bhava, means they have deep emotion for Krishna. And that Rodha Bhava gopis is Vishuddha, spotless. Vishuddha means absolutely no tinges of malice there. Nirmala, no malice. Vishuddha means completely pure. Hmm. And that pure love that the gopis have for Krishna is sometimes perceived by public as lust. They left everyone to meet Krishna and dance with Krishna in the middle of the night. So, how can a cultured woman in the Vedic society leave her husband, leave her sons, leave her brothers, leave her parents, leave all the family members, and in the middle of the night run into a forest and dance with another boy? This may be because of lust. That's the opinion of common people. But Kaviraj Goswami says, when the gopis are running towards Krishna, it's not a manifestation of lust. It's a manifestation of pure love. Patisutanvayad bhratrubandhava ativilangyate nyachyutagata gativirastavoddgita Kitavayoshitah Kastyajenishi Pati Sutta Bharatru Bandhava. They left everyone to go and see Krishna and serve Krishna and dance with Krishna. But that is not lust. Lust is like iron. Love is like gold. What is the difference between lust and love? Kaviraj Goswami. Uh, Kaviraj Goswami writes in this beautiful chapter. Let me show the sloka. Yeah, this one. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the shloka in the slide. But anyways, I will recite. Atmendriya priti vancha tare bale kam. Krishnendriya priti icha dhare premanam. Atmendriya priti vancha. Atmendriya means one's own senses. Priti vancha means desiring for the gratification or enjoyment of one's own senses. That is the definition of kama. The definition of kama is desiring gratification of one's own senses. Then what is the definition of prema? Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare prema nam. Prema means Krishna indriya priti ichha, to desire the happiness of Krishna's senses. That is prema. So the gopis are desiring to please Krishna's senses, not their own senses. Therefore, their attraction towards Krishna is not lust; it is love. Mm. So lust is like dense darkness. Love is like bright sun. Mm. They had dhrida anuraga, means very condensed affection for Krishna, love for Krishna. Mhm. So there is no tinge of lust in the gopis' hearts. Now let's recite a few shlokas that Kaviraj Goswami wrote. Atayeva gopi ganera nahi kama gandha कृष्ण सुख लागी मात्रा कृष्ण से संबंध अतएव गोपीगणेर नाहि काम गंध. There is not even a small smell of kama. Kama is lust and gandha is a small smell of it. So in the hearts of the gopis, there is not a slight trace of kama. Krishna sukha lagi matra Krishna se sambandha. So they just wanted to experience, they just wanted to give sukha to Krishna. Krishna sukha lagi matra. Their only aspiration, their only goal, their only purpose in coming to Krishna is to please Krishna. They decorate themselves nicely with ornaments, with cosmetics, with beautiful, colorful dresses. Why? To give pleasure to Krishna's eyes. Mhm. They sing so sweetly. Why? Not to show off their talent, that they're great musicians. They sing so sweetly only to give pleasure to Krishna's ears. They cook so nicely, elaborately. Why? Only to give pleasure to Krishna's tongue. Mhm. They make very beautiful garlands. Why? To give pleasure to Krishna's body, to give pleasure to Krishna's nostrils, who smells the fragrance of the sweet garlands and flowers and bouquets. Thus, whatever they do, it's all meant to please Krishna. They're constantly Krishna conscious. They're only thinking about Krishna, and there is no other thought other than Krishna in their minds. The ladies of Mathura say in the 10th canto Bhagavatam, Yadohane vahanane mathanopalepा प्रेङ्काङ्खनार्भरुदितो क्षणमार्जनादौ गायन्ति चैनमनुरक्तधियो श्रुकण्ठ्यो धन्याव्रजस्त्रिय उरुक्रमचित्तयानः. Yadohane while milking cows, Vahanane while processing their grains, Mathana while churning buttermilk, Upalepa while smearing their walls and floors with cow dung, Prinkankhana while swinging on swings, Arbharudita while taking care of their little crying babies, Ukshana while sprinkling water mixed with cow dung in their courtyards, Marjana while sweeping the floors, Ado, many such household activities. While doing all these activities, the gopis are absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. Gayanti chaina manurakta dhiyo shrukantyo dhanyavrajastriya urukrama chitta yanaha. Gayanti, they're singing. Anurakta dhiya, their hearts are completely immersed in rakti, immersed in love for Krishna, affection for Krishna. Anurakta dhiyo ashrukantyo. Also, their voices are faltering, their eyes are shedding tears out of love. They are not compromising on their household duties, but they're absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna while doing their household duties. While the conditioned souls, they cannot think of Krishna even while chanting Krishna's names. We can, at least I can say it with my realization, with full realization. While chanting the name of Krishna, mind is not thinking about Krishna. While hearing Krishna Katha, while hearing about Krishna's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila, we don't think of Krishna, we think of something else. That is the condition of struggling sadhakas. What to speak of remembering Krishna while doing something else which is not Krishna conscious? Even while doing core Krishna conscious activities of Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, In the association of devotees, in a temple, in a holy place, mind becomes spaced out. Mind runs here and there. But the gopis are not like that. Even when they are just lifting cow dung, even when they are taking care of their crying babies, they're thoroughly Krishna conscious. Right? While a sadhaka struggles to remember Krishna, even while hearing about Krishna and chanting Krishna's names, even when all the senses are fully absorbed and engaged in Krishna's service, mind is thinking of something else. But the gopis, even though they are doing regular, simple household duties, they are only thinking about Krishna. So, their whatever is uh, there in their minds is not lust; it is pure love. Sometimes they become very anxious about Krishna's safety. Oh, Krishna, he is walking barefoot in the forests of Vrindavan. Maybe some thorns might pierce his feet. Yatte sujata charana muruham staneshu. So Krishna's feet are so soft that they can't even bear the touch of our tender bodies. Now that Krishna is walking on the in the forests of Vrindavan without shoes, they're anxious. Mhm. So they are thinking only about Krishna. Let's read the next shloka. आत्मसुख दुखे गोपीर नाही का विचार कृष्ण सुख हेतु चेष्टा मनोव्यवहार आत्मसुख दुखे गोपीर nahi ka vichar. The gopis never think about their sukha and their dukkha. What gives me happiness, what gives me distress, that is never their consideration. Nahi ka vichar, they never think about it. What do you think about? Krishna sukha hetu cheshta mano vyavahar. Only for the purpose of pleasing Krishna and giving happiness to Krishna, they do chesta. They act in so many ways. Mana, their mind and their activities are centered on the principle of giving pleasure to Krishna. Their chesta mano vyavahar means their external behavior and their internal thoughts. All are completely rooted in the principle of giving pleasure to Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. If anyone has completely realized and demonstrated this principle of Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, they are the gopis of Vrindavan. Only they can give complete pleasure to Krishna, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. They renounced everything for Krishna. And they caused even Krishna to break his promise. What is Krishna's promise? Krishna promised to everyone that ye yathamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyaham. So the way you approach me, in a similar way, I will reciprocate with you. But in the case of gopis, Krishna said, Naparayeham niravadya samyujam. I have no ability. Naparayeham. My dear gopis, although I very confidently declared that I will reciprocate with my devotees according to the way they approach me, but in your case, I don't think I have the ability to reciprocate with the way you have served me. Your ability and your eagerness to serve me crossed beyond my ability to reciprocate with that service. I completely feel bankrupt and completely feel incapable of reciprocating with even iota of service that you have done. Yama bhajan durjara geha shrinkhala. You have cut the geha shrinkhala, the tight knots of family bonding. You have cut them very effortlessly just for my sake. Although it's very difficult for general people to surpass such mm, strong family bondings and Vedic culture in those days, the gopis just ran towards Krishna in the middle of the night. So I can never repay you. Naparayehum. I can never repay you. I remain eternally bankrupt. Generally, when somebody takes a loan, he's given some time, EMI. In next 5 years, you clear this loan. Monthly, you pay this much. Or 10 years you take, or 12 years you take. So depending on how much is the debt. But Krishna says, even if you give me one full lifetime of Brahma, I cannot repay my loan. I'm totally eternally indebted to you. I can never repay. Of course, this also shows Krishna's deep humility and the glory of the gopis. So they think that Krishna's pleasure is more important than our pleasure or anyone's pleasure. Mm. So mm, their joy also is mutually competitive. You see, Krishna sees the gopis, he becomes very happy. Therefore, the gopis come in front of Krishna. They know Krishna's heart completely. They know that if Krishna sees us, he will be happy. Seeing us will give great happiness to Krishna. Therefore, they decorate themselves nicely and show themselves to Krishna so that Krishna can become happy. Seeing Krishna happy, the gopis become even more happy. So when Krishna sees the gopis, his joy increases, his sweetness increases. Seeing that, the gopis' joy increases, the gopis' beauty increases, gopis' sweetness increases. Seeing that enhanced and increased sweetness, Krishna's sweetness increases further, his joy increases further. Seeing Krishna much happier, the gopis become even more joyful. Seeing their joy, Krishna becomes even much happier. Seeing his increased happiness, superlative happiness, the gopis become even more happy. Like that, there is a constant competition between the pleasure of the gopis and pleasure of Krishna. In this competition, no one acknowledges defeat. It eternally increases till date and continues forever. So the gopis have no fault of lust. The gopis are completely pure in their intentions, pure in their actions, pure in their thoughts, pure in all ways. That is the glory of the gopis of Vrindavan. Further, uh, Kaviraj Goswami says, Gopi, Gopi preme kare Krishna madhuryera pushti, madhurya badaya prema haya mahatushti. Gopi preme kare Krishna madhuryera pushti. Hmm. So Krishna madhurya means Krishna's sweetness. Pushti means the sweetness of Krishna becomes nourished. Hmm. So Krishna's sweetness is maintained and nourished by seeing the gopis. Krishna is already sweet. When gopis come in front of him, his sweetness increases. Krishna madhuryara pushti. Madhurya badaya prema haya mahatushti. Seeing their prema for him, his madhurya increases. His love increases. His sweetness increases. Uh, because they are seeing him with unselfish love. They have no trace of selfishness, right? Nija premanande Krishna sevananda badhe. Se anandera prati bhaktera hayam mahakrodhe. Very beautiful sloka. Nija premanande. Let me see if I have. Uh, Nija premananda means one's own uh, ananda, one's own happiness. So Nija prema anande, Krishna sevanande badhe. If the ananda in one's own prema is creating an obstacle in one's seva, then see anandera prati bhaktera haya mahakrodhe. Devotees become very angry with that ananda. Hmm. I hope you got it. While rendering service to Krishna, devotee experiences happiness. And as devotee is feeling very blissful and happy, if that happiness is obstructing his service, they will say, oh, this happiness is creating an obstacle in my service. To hell with this happiness. Let me continue my service. An example is there in the Dwaraka also. Daruka was once fanning Krishna. While fanning Krishna, he became overwhelmed with love and he had tears in his eyes. And that kind of made his vision very blur and he could not focus on the service. Then Daruka said, forget this ecstasy, forget these tears, let me focus on the service. You see. So, while rendering service to Krishna, devotee naturally feels happiness. But that happiness, if it obstructs the service, they will condemn that happiness and focus on seva. Mhm. That's the meaning of this beautiful shloka that Kaviraj Goswami wrote. Nija premanande Krishna sevananda badhe seyanandera prati bhaktera hayam mahakrodhe. Next. कामगंधहीन स्वाभाविक गोपी प्रेम Nirmala Ujjvala Shuddha Yena Dagdha Hema. Such a beautiful rhyming shloka. Kamagandha Hina means I already mentioned this before. The gopis' love for Krishna has no trace of lust, no smell of lust. Swabhavika gopi prema. Love of the gopis is swabhavika, very natural, intrinsic. Nirmala, spotless, Ujjvala, effulgent, Shuddha, pure, Yena Dagdha Hema. It is like molten gold, pure like molten gold. That's the extent of gopis prema. Then, amongst all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the topmost gopi and the foremost gopi and the source of all gopis. Therefore, the shloka is mentioned. यथा राधा यथा राधा प्रिया विष्णोस्तस्याः कुण्डं प्रियं तथा सर्वगोपीषु सैवैकः विष्णोरत्यन्तवल्लभः. Just as Radha Kund is very dear to Krishna, Radharani is also very dear to Krishna, or the other way around. so, so these are the three unfulfilled desires of Krishna. There is much more to describe, but time up. so, the three unfulfilled desires of Krishna are. Let me just come back to that shloka once again and show the shloka and summarize all the three reasons once again. Yes. श्रीराधायाः प्रणयमहिमा कीदृशो वा नयैव स्वाद्यो येनाद्भुतमधुरिमा कीदृशो वा मदीयः सौख्यं चास्यामदनुभवतः कीदृशं वेति लोभात् तद्भावाढ्यः समजनिशचि गर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः. First reason, Sri Radhaya Pranayamahima Kidrisho Vanayaiva means Krishna became very curious and very eager to understand the extent of Radharani's love for him. That's the first reason, first confidential reason. Second, Swadhyo yena adbhuta madhurima kidrisho vamadiyah. Yena adbhuta madhurima kidrisho. Krishna became very eager to know the extent of his own sweetness, which Radharani is relishing. Then third reason is Saukhyam chasyamadhanubhavatah kidrisham veti lobhat means Krishna wanted to actually experience the happiness of Radharani. Radharani is experiencing so much happiness while loving Krishna, while serving Krishna, while seeing Krishna. Krishna is aspiring for that happiness. First, to understand the greatness of her love. Second, to understand the extent of his own sweetness. Third, to actually experience her happiness in his service. So these are the three confidential reasons for Krishna's descent as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So now we will conclude in just few minutes. So yeah, Krishna started contemplating on Radharani's experience of pleasure while serving him, and therefore he wanted to take the position of Radharani and to take the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Then Krishna starts contemplating on how Radharani's all five senses experience pleasure while coming in contact with Krishna. It's a very beautiful description there. So with all these thoughts in his mind, Krishna decided to descend as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Krishna's decision and the time of the incarnation of this Kali Yuga means Krishna's decision and the time of Yuga Avatar coincided. At that time only Advaitacharya is loudly calling Krishna, please descend, Krishna, please descend. So all these things coincided. So Krishna appeared on this planet. And one line we need to discuss. How did Krishna appear? In what form did Krishna appear? With these three confidential reasons, let's go to the last line of the Shloka. Last line. तद्भावाढ्यः समजनिशचि गर्भसिन्धौ हरिन्दुः तद्भावाढ्यः. Now you saw the first three lines, Radharani is mentioned. All the three unfulfilled desires of Krishna are connected to Srimati Radharani. So Krishna imbibed her mood, tad bhavadhya, accepting her mood, samajani sachi garbha sindho. So he appeared in the womb of Sachi Mata. And that womb of Sachi Mata is considered Sindhu, and Lord Hari is called Indu. Indu is moon. Hari is compared to moon. Sachi Garbha means womb of mother Yashoda is compared to, womb of mother Sachi is compared to ocean. Just like moon appears from the ocean, Lord Hari appeared from Sachi Mata's womb. Sachi Mata's womb is compared to ocean, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is compared to the moon. Tad bhavadyaha samajani Sachi garbha sindho harindu. So these are the confidential reasons for Krishna's appearance as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So to summarize, Krishna had three unfulfilled desires. First is he wanted to understand the extent of Radharani's love for him. Second, he wanted to understand the extent of his own sweetness. Third, he wanted to experience the happiness of Srimati Radharani. With these to fulfill these three desires, Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Radha and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna only in the mood of Srimati Radharani and in the complexion of Srimati Radharani. And Radha and Krishna together are there. and uh, and Krishna is most merciful. If there is someone who is more merciful than Krishna, that is a devotee of Krishna. If Krishna with all his powers appears as a devotee, in the mood of a devotee, you can only understand the extent of his magnanimity. That's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most magnanimous incarnation. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Because he is Mahavadanya, most beneficent person, he gives Krishna Prema so easily, so effortlessly, even to the most unqualified person. Patra Patra Vicharanam na kurute, na swam param vikshate. Deya Deya Vimarshako nahi nava kala pratiksha prabho. Sadyo yah shravane kshana pranamana dhyanadina durlabham. Datte bhakti rasam sa eva bhagavan Gaura param me gati. So he doesn't discriminate between who is patra, who is apatra, who is qualified and who is not qualified. Without seeing someone's eligibility, he just gives Krishna Prema very easily. So let us offer our humble obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and let us express our profuse gratitude to Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who has written Mahaprabhu's biography and Mahaprabhu's tattva so beautifully in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let us humbly offer our obeisances, hundreds and thousands of obeisances to the lotus feet of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who gave us the wealth of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in the form of his translation, and also spread Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission throughout the globe. And even now, in multiple countries, people are worshipping Gaura Nitai. People are worshipping Panchatattva. Who made Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so popular? who, who made Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being worshipped by millions of devotees across the globe in multiple countries? It's all glorious Srila Prabhupada. So we are eternally indebted to Srila Prabhupada for bringing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in our lives, in our hearts. So Gaura Purnima is the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in our lives because of the efforts of Srila Prabhupada and his sincere followers. So with our humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, I'll conclude here. I wish everyone a happy and auspicious Gaura Purnima, and I beg for your blessings and prayers so that I continue to serve the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada for the rest of my life and life after life. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sri Gaura Purnima Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.